Hey, how are you? So now in this recording, we're going to talk about something very simple, the state of AI. Or is it simple? It's probably not as simple, but there has been many major developments in AI in the past 2, 3 years, especially with ChatGPT 4 being the shots fired kind of moment. I generally think AI is useful, but it comes with a lot of limitations. People have been going on and on and on about how AI is going to be like be all and end all. One of the most important observations about technology is that we overestimate the short term results and we underestimate the long term results. There is no doubt that AI will be useful, especially AI that is using the LLM models. If people are expecting AGI from LLM models, then we are in for trouble. The LLM models are branch predictors of the next word or things like that. I'm simplifying it. So to get AGI out of it, it's it's speculated to be near impossible. Not only speculated, I'm convinced the argument that the people that are making that AGI may not come out of this, I agree with that very much. But also, now, because of the lack of good data, people are creating synthetic data to train these AI models. So, what is the quality going to be? So, would we get more powerful data, powerful AI? Yes, we would get powerful AI. But the bigger advances of the past 1 year or so is the smaller models, smaller language models, or light LLMs, or the real innovation, where you can reduce the amount of training because of the smaller parameter size, as well as you can fit them to the devices. The inference, the AI model inference can be done with machines with lower power, lower compute. Everybody do not need to have one of those A100 size GPUs for inference. When you have a, for example, ChatGPT app on your phone, the inference is still being done in a data center. It's not done locally on your machine. But in a world where the inference is done on your machine, is the brave new world. That is the more important thing when you see the upcoming Apple operating system, as well as the Microsoft's Copilot Plus PCs. The Copilot Plus PCs run into this very interesting problem because they're predominantly ARM PCs, and Microsoft PCs for a long time have been x86 architecture processors. So for the NPUs, 40, they do have this threshold, right? The threshold for the NPUs, this threshold for NPUs, so that the inference can happen almost real time or adequate enough. The response times are minimal. You don't want to ask a question and wait for 3 minutes for it to be answered. Or you don't want to do something that will take the latency, the request and response times are big. So the Copilot Plus PCs, they will get better and better over a period of time, and also x86 architecture processors, laptops or PCs are going to get these inference engines that are going to be very formidable. I think once you have the inference engines that are quite responsive with minimal latency, that is when the interactivity gets better. Now, with these inference engines on the machine, there is a chance, like could a web application use them, use this hardware? How would you integrate this into a web application? This is an important question to ask. But definitely, this may give a boost to the native applications that can use these inference engines and incorporate the AI-esque features. One thing we have to understand importantly is LLMs sound smart but are not always. So generally, when you're tag teaming with an AI agent or something like Copilot, you definitely have to be the auditor. Depth of the knowledge is still not a feature of much of AI. When it is wrong, you should be able to identify it is wrong. Or we should have a system that validates the claims. There should be an auditing system of sort. Would it be another AI model? Or would it be like a judge or a jury? When you basically put the same question or same set of input values into multiple agents and then take the consensus and the medium, these are to be seen because hallucination is a problem. But for really mundane things, accuracy may not be that much important. I think AI agents will really excel in the world of approximation, where they can get a thing or two wrong. And we will see these audit systems of sort. In the beginning, the audit system is going to be the individual user who is riding shotgun with the AI agent that would verify and validate, and then apply. That is one of the reasons why we will still need a human within the system loop. AI is going to transform a lot of things. There's no doubt in that. AI is going to make many things better. AI will generate a lot of art, music, but you still need a person manning the complete system and judging the output from taste perspective, from the validity perspective. So I can definitely see it replacing some jobs, but it would be much more like giving you more powers, more substantial powers to the individual who is able to hone. This is where mastering the tools come into picture. This is where you want to understand the limitations of AI and should give the inputs appropriately, which we call that as prompt engineering, and should be able to deal with the outputs that are near and approximate but can be totally wrong and move it in the right direction. Sometimes we have to discard it completely because it's a hallucination. Sometimes we have to basically nudge it. Sometimes it gives you very good answer. And we should be able to identify. And for that, you need to have the knowledge. You cannot just outsource everything completely. Now, when it comes to a drawing, I cannot draw. I'm not an artist. But for me to produce a good flowchart or a nice little animation diagram of sort, these are possible. And for example, you can also do something very adjacent. You can generate a SQL query that meets your criteria, but you should validate it at some same point of time. How would you optimize that piece of code to perform very well to your situation? You still need to have the skill. The last mile is still the responsibility of the auditor or the person manning, the jockey of the AI system. And that is the current state. I mean, there are a lot of people who will be able to master and become a very great jockey and take this AI to the places that are previously thought very hard. It would definitely improve the productivity in terms of the amount of time to create a proof of concept or get some presentation ready or give gist or summary of around convoluted things or create a graph of sort, organization graph for your emails or sources of knowledge. There is so much that will happen, but it's like this is a very interesting thing I heard somewhere about finance ministers or secretary of treasury, whoever makes financial policy. Very similar. AI is like the number zero. And would it be in tens, hundreds, or thousands place is up to the person who is leading it, the jockey. If the jockey is 1,000, AI will make jockey plus AI 10,000. If a jockey is a 2, AI will make it 20 at the best. If the jockey is 0, you get 0. There's other thing like a force multiplier and things like that. But also AI being so ubiquitous on all the devices, it's also going to change a lot of experience. There is definitely the downside to it because people who are starting out would never be better than the AI. Now you have to put a lot of volume to get a skill upskill yourself, and if you are using AI as a crutch, you will forever be limited by it. You do not have the judgment or discernment if the output is appropriate or not. And that is a very important question we have to answer. So using it as an assistant, as a horse or as a bicycle or a car, mental bicycle or a car is the way. It is an enhancer. As a substitute, we may get somewhere there, but the current LLMs or the large language models may not be it. Definitely, AI is useful, but a master with depth that is able to use the AIs is who is going to get the maximum return of it. That's all for now. Thank you.